go. Welcome to Rick's Corner. Today I got Chyna McCoy with me, who I met down at Gold's Gym a while back. And we started talking about the history of bodybuilding and old school, and he's from that era and he likes it. And he does a lot of things. He's a martial artist, he's an actor, he's a bodybuilder, he's a writer, a producer. He's a very talented man and has a lot of things to offer in the entertainment business. So I said, look, why don't we come on here and just talk, right?
That's right.
So let's start in the beginning when you got into bodybuilding. What inspired you to do that?
It's a true story. You guys are gonna love it out there. I lived back east, and I was, we get the magazines back east on the rack of things that happen in California. We get a lot of different magazines. So I would always get the California magazines.
Yeah.
And in the California magazines, I was like, wow, these palm trees are beautiful. And then there would be like all the famous bodybuilders would be in the magazines. And because I was into drawing comics and superheroes, the bodybuilders were like a reference for me. So the more I would go through the magazines, the more I go, wow, I want to be in that place. And one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to California and I'm going to do what they do. And it was just inspiring to see that in the magazine as well as on TV, because at the time, you had Bruce Lee, who was good. You had Arnold was on TV then. He was doing Conan. Jean-Claude was on TV. So you had a lot of healthy people. Sylvester. You had a lot of healthy action stars.
Yeah, they're almost like role models.
Yeah, at that time. So
yeah.
it was like, yes, that's what I'm gonna do.
I hear that from a lot of people, because a lot of people aren't fortunate enough to make it out here. Their dream is to come out to the West Coast, be down at Venice Beach, work out at Gold's and all that. And then many of them do come, because I run into a lot of them down there, but they do see it in the magazine, they do see it on TV, and they think, God, I just want to see what it's like. And it's bigger than life when you're away from it. Then when you come down and you get into it, you realize it's not that big. It's actually really cool.
Right.
And you can meet people, and people are nice, and you become one of the group, and it's just a nice atmosphere. Yeah, it's a good place to train.
Yeah,
it's inspirational.
I think with the audience, which a lot of you guys, if you missed this era, Rick comes from a great era. So I was lucky enough to be young enough to be born in the era where I came right off of his era. So I kind of walked right into Rick's era, and I was able to experience Venice Beach. I was able to experience the weightlifting, like all the stars of the 90s. Like I was able to experience that whole era, and it was just motivation, because it was like, wow, I'm here, I'm in California, I'm in the Mecca.
It's a different world, isn't it?
It is. Like when you see it in the movies, it's exactly that. When you come to Venice, it's that.
People walk in the gym and they say, doesn't anybody have a job? Everybody's training, I mean, they do what they do. The entertainment business is huge out here. Of course, everything's shot out here. And the people in the entertainment business, they go to the gym.
Right.
And back when you came out, I believe that in the film business, martial arts was huge.
Yeah, all the Dawn the Dragons, Cynthia Rothrock's, like martial arts was just
right.
Billy Blanks. Everybody was just massive back then.
Yeah, it was a. How'd you get into that?
I was on the beach. Actually, when I moved here to California, I had come from Ocean City. So Ocean City in the summertime, we would just all sleep on the beach. So I was like, wow, I can do that in Venice. So I came here, slept on the beach, and worked out every day. And that was my job. Like, get up, take my showers and stuff at the little gym and work out on Venice Beach and do flips on the beach. And actually, I met a gentleman named David Keckett. And he knew Dawn the Dragon and some stuntmen who worked with Dawn the Dragon. So they needed some guys to fight. And
you volunteered.
I was there on the spot, like, hey, I'm your guy. And next thing you know, I was on Dawn the Dragon movies.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Don's a great guy. He's been on here too. And his brother too, James. The thing with the business, a lot of you people want to come out here and get in the movies, do this kind of stuff. You have to have a talent, you have to have a look, and you have to have a connection. And by the way, you did it because you had the look and you had the talent and you made the connection. And once you make a connection and work with people and they like you, they use you all the time.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, it becomes a steady gig all the time. And since he was doing a lot of movies, he'll use the same group for all the movies, right?
Right.
Was Fred Ray directing those?
It was a multitude of directors at that. Well, I guess it's kind of hard to say.
Because Fred was done a lot. And then I trained Fred for wrestling. And then he used me in 13 of his movies. You know how that goes. You do this, and I'll put you over there, playing different characters.
And it still happens like that today, because it's happening right now.
It happens like that all the time. It's just, you make it a presentation to somebody, you become a friend with them, and then they use you for everything. You after you did the martial arts, what'd you do? You did other kinds of stuff too, as well.
During the time that I came to Venice, I was doing like a lot of extra work. So if y'all don't know what extra work is, it's the guys that are in the background when the star is talking to another star and you see people walking around.
And then the stars are eating good filet mignon and the extras are over there in the other room eating peanut butter sandwiches.
Peanut butter and crackers, okay? And they were good peanut butter and crackers. So I started out as an extra when I got here. So I was on like Pacific Blue, Baywatch, VIP, like all the cool movies and TV shows back then I was on. And I think I did that for almost a year, maybe 8 months, not that long. And the next thing you know, I was on this movie called The Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I went from an extra. Actually, before I did The Matrix, I went from an extra, and the director, Corey Eubanks, saw me on that show, and he said, hey, I want to make you a bad guy on Pacific Blue. So on the show Pacific Blue, Cops on Bikes, I was a lead villain. So I went from an extra to a star role like the same day.
Corey Eubanks is the guy to do that too.
Yeah, he was the stunt man, second unit director. He was the man.
Yeah, he does that stuff.
And he still is the man. He's still doing stuff. So and after that, another friend that I knew who knew martial arts, we did flips and stuff on the beach together. One of his friends, Rick was just talking about connections. His friend was connected to the Hong Kong fighting team who did The Matrix. We did all the action for The Matrix. So he asked me if I wanted to be on that film. So I was like, sure. You know, I'm not doing anything but flipping on the beach. And next thing you know, I'm in Burbank training with Chyna and Trinity and Morpheus and Hugo Weaving, you know, Agent Smith. And we're out there just training. And then I'm off to Australia shooting The Matrix. And that's since I came in 95. So by 97, I was in another country. That's
a big deal, too.
And The Matrix became like the biggest deal of the century. It changed the face of filmmaking.
It did. And what did you do after that?
After that, I went on to Matrix 2, and that's when I realized, like, I could just be doing this myself instead of doing the action, fight, stunt doubling for someone else. And lo and behold, when I put that thought into the universe, a few weeks later, someone called me and said, hey, Chyna, you're the only person right now who can do martial arts and flip and kick and actually act at the same time. I'm doing a movie, so do you want to star in it? I'm like, sure. So it was a little small movie called Game Over. So that was my first movie that I starred in as the lead actor. So that very rarely happens in Hollywood. You're either a stuntman or you're an actor. You can't be both.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. I mean, it's you're either an extra, a stuntman, or an actor. They don't mix it up. But every once in a while, as an extra, they'll give you They'll bring you in and they'll elevate you a little bit.
They bump you up.
They bump you up. And as a stunt man, they might give you a line or two. A lot of times they don't, but then they don't. Like Gene LaBelle has been doing stunts forever, and every once in a while he gets a line. Or 2 lines, or 3 lines, or something even more. And stunts don't always mean that you have to jump up in there and run around. Stunts can be, you can just be standing there. You know, stunts guys they're like a bouncer at a bar, but they're just standing there. They might get hit, or they might not.
Yeah.
Or it could be anything. It doesn't have to always be a high fall.
Right. Stunts is a wide variety.
Of stuff.
From getting hit by a car, set on fire, thrown through a building, or just like Rick said, you could just be standing at the door.
Standing there with a couple of guys.
The lead actor can come past. He may not even hit you. He just may bump you.
Yeah.
But
that's a stunt.
You know.
It's funny how it works, is people get a different perception of what stunt work really is. Yeah. There are guys who specialize in certain things as well. But then if you can prove that you can do lines and you can act, and the right director, right producer sees you, they'll give you a good role, and then from that role you go on and you can do something even bigger.
Right. That's true.
That's how it works.
See, you got it. That's the way it works out here in Hollywood. Like even now, I do a lot of fight choreography and stunt work for films. Not actually doing the stunts, but I make sure the actors fall safe, or if they have a fight scene, they have a nice, safe fight scene. So now the funny part is, I get hired on as a stunt coordinator and a fight choreographer. But while I'm doing both, or just one or the other, I get hired as an actor. So every time I've done a movie where I had to do choreography, or they would just be like, well, Chyna, you're here, you can act, just take one of these roles.
Yeah, like, it's true. Okay. That's how it works. And I got hired to choreograph a TV show that was over at, I think it was at Warner Brothers. God, I can't remember the name of it. It was a big show. It was a series to train 2 guys to wrestle in the ring. So they sent them to me here with a stunt coordinator, and I got them in my ring for 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks of more training, and then we had the actual show and we shot it. Boy, they paid me well for that too. It was
I
a
did
good
not hear what Rick said. They brought him here because Rick has the ring
Yeah,
for
they
it
brought
for
him to my
real.
house and paid me for staying home and training. And Roddy Piper starred in the show. Cold Case, that was the show. Cold Case. I actually got a picture up there. They put me in as a referee on the last day. I said, I'm not taking Gene LaBelle's job. That's his job, the referee.
Yes, Gene LaBelle's awesome.
So it was a month on the whole show, and it was added up to be a ton of money. And then, of course, every time it ran, you got a residual, you got another check in the mail. So these things fall, and you take them. And when they asked me what I charged, I gave them some outlandish figure, and they said, okay. Then they want me to come to all the production meetings. And I said, I'm not going to sit through production meetings while you guys are working on other things. What I need to be there for, I'm not on that part of the show.
Right.
Well, you need to be there. I said,
For what?
I actually talked him out of it, so I didn't have to go.
It's like, what does he need to be there for? If I got to train your people to fight in the ring, I need to be training them, not
Right.
sitting in a meeting listening to you guys talk about nothing, pretty much.
We had a good time. We did some stuff in the ring. We sat outside, drank iced tea, told stories. We got in the ring, got outside, just had iced tea, told stories. So, all right, so then you went to that level, and then after that, what did you do?
I'm still actually doing that, so to speak. Right now, I just came back from. Okay, this is a fun story. I had to fly to Seattle, Washington. So they wanted me to bring up all these guns. And I'm thinking, wow, well, I have a storage full of just all these guns. But they won't let me bring those on the plane. Not real guns, in case you're thinking that. Think airsoft. So they look real, but they only shoot little BBs. So I was like, well, we got to figure out another way. So guess what? 20-hour drive all the way up to Washington.
Just to take the guns?
Just to take the guns. If the guns wasn't there, I would have been on the plane, been there in like 45 minutes.
What if you would have gotten pulled over?
This is the worst part. If I would have got pulled over, I would have been in trouble. Because not only did I have guns, I had like money and the drugs. So I had everything that they needed.
So you had the Hollywood money.
I had all the Hollywood money and the Hollywood drugs, which is like chalk or just sugar. So, but it was funny, but it's wrapped to look like what it's supposed to look like in the film.
And the Hollywood money looks real if you don't really look at it close.
The Hollywood money is really real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it used to say Hollywood on it or movie money, but now it's just real money. And what happens is you may get the first two top ones that look like real $100 or $1,000 bills.
Right.
The rest of them are just paper underneath,
Right.
and then the end ones. So that money can really fool you.
I had a big satchel of that when I had done the thing with Michael Chiklis, the Shield, and I was robbing a medical store, and I had this big thing full of all this money, and I said, this is pretty unique looking, so I took a couple of them, brought them home, gave them to my kids, because it's Hollywood money.
You know what's funny, now that he's talking about that, back in the day, the fun thing to do was every time you worked as an extra on a movie or acted in a film, you always took a piece of the movie home. So
Yeah.
I had like a brick from one movie, I had weapons from Mortal Kombat, I had just money, I had everything from every movie. I had a piece of the props.
You know, I had a breakaway beer bottle that they hit me over the head and the thing breaks. It's made out of sugar and something else. So I brought it home and I put it on my shelf in my den that was different out there, and didn't realize that it was affected by heat. And during the summer, the bottle just started to go wilt and wilt and wilt and wilt and just melted down to nothing.
Sugar bottles.
Yeah, sugar bottles.
Used to break over people's heads. Y'all
Yeah.
know about those.
Yeah.
Breakaway is what we call them.
Right. So I always took little things like that too, souvenirs.
Yeah. So back to what Rick was saying. I'm still doing choreography and fight stuff for films. I actually have a film coming up in October that I'm doing the choreography for. And lo and behold, while they were talking about me doing the stunt and choreography stuff for them, they asked me if I wanted to play. What is it called? The blacksmith. So the blacksmith is an assassin hitman who goes and takes body parts from people. And so it's really cool. It's a really cool role, and it's a lead. But that happened from me choreographing one of their films before. So like Rick was saying, if you do a good job and you make a nice connection, and they'll use you for the next one and the next one and the next one.
Yeah, and the thing is too, you have the look, and you've been working out, and your body's built, and they see the muscle, and they think this is a perfect combination of the character.
Yeah.
You've got to have all the elements to go into it as well. And so you're still training every day in the gym.
I see Rick there every day, and he's doing the abs, and he's getting it in, and you know, he's like, okay, I'm coming in. What are you doing today, Rick? I don't know. I get it.
I'll find a body part.
Yeah, Rick's in there getting it.
I feel like a mortician. I'm going to find a body part to work.
See, and it goes hand in hand. I'm a hitman, so I'm going to find a body part to cut off. So
Exactly.
be ready.
But do you train old school style?
At one time I did. I was training various styles. I was doing capoeira, I was doing taekwondo, I was doing a little bit of Muay Thai, but that's a real rough martial art.
Okay.
But overall, my love always came down to wrestling and boxing. So whatever situation I was in, it always had to do with wrestling maneuvers and boxing. So those to me those are the ultimate basics.
Those are the basics.
You cannot go wrong with those.
No, you can't go wrong with them. And your weight training is how do you split your body parts up?
For weight training, there are two different type of weight trainings. Like you have people who go in there on a regiment. My style is how I feel. If I walk in the gym and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just do some shoulders, or maybe I'll just do my back today. You know, it just all depends. Maybe I'll just train my ankles. However I'm feeling, that's all that the gym's going to get.
This is how Joe Weider used to say too, and back in the '70s, he said, you do instinctive training. I mean, you want to plan it so that you have time in between working the muscle a couple of days. But if you go into the gym, like some days I'll go and I say, oh, today's going to be back and arms or shoulders and arms, and they say I'll do shoulders, and I'll say, you know what, I'll do arms tomorrow.
Right.
I don't feel like doing both today. I would never do that before. I'd do them both in the same day. But there's sometimes you're just tired, you don't feel like doing both of them, so you just pick one body part, put your all into the one part, and it works.
So I want y'all to remember what Rick just said, because I'm stealing that. It's called instinctive training. Joe Weider used to say it. Rick just mentioned it.
It works.
I'm gonna start using that when people ask me what do you do. Instinctive training. Whatever I'm feeling is what the gym gets. Not because I'm writing it on a piece of paper. I'm keeping counting. I can't. That's too much work.
Oh, I can't do that. I saw a guy in the gym years ago, and he used to count reps and sets. He'd take a book of matches, and every time he'd do a set, he'd bend one match over, so he knew exactly how many sets he did, because he'd forget.
Who cares? The more sets you do, the better.
Yeah. I just thought that was pretty unique that he would do something like that. You have a new project you're working on. You're trying to get done. Let's just talk about that for a second. With a little animation.
My new project is Bane. Bane is not from The Dark Knight. That's B-A-N-E. My character is B-A-Y-N-E. So if you go to BaneLegacyApocalypse.weebly.com, look it up, and you'll see all the animation, the cool pictures. But he's a hybrid. He's half werewolf, half vampire. I thought of this idea actually when I was doing The Matrix. I kind of like the cool way the outfits Neo wore and what Morpheus wore, because I was Morpheus since I was his double. And and everything just kind of came out, and I was like, wow, this could be awesome. And I just started designing the character, and then Blade came out, and then Underworld came out, and then so it really elevated the vampire werewolf genre, which helped.
I think it's always big.
Yeah, which helped my genre even more. And Rick was right, like he said, it was always big. If you go all the way back to The Howling, even before that you had the TV shows.
Well, even before that you had Frankenstein and Dracula.
Right. But,
Yeah, those are the scariest ones around. I mean, vampires have been around forever, and werewolves as well, with Lon Chaney.
Boris Karloff.
Those things always scared me. They were good movies, and they just keep going over and over and over and over and over again, so they keep coming out with new stuff all the time. And of course, with technology today and filming, they make it even better.
Yeah, Vincent Price, like those were our inspiration.
Yeah.
To what we got in like the 70s and 80s and 90s, and to this day I still go on YouTube and I'll look up like Vincent Price and Boris Karloff. I look at all the old movies, Hammer films. They're all great.
Hammer films, right?
Yeah. So that's my project, Bane. You'll actually like him. I kind of went in a different direction because there was a time like all the characters in the universe wore black. Birds of Prey, which was a TV show, it was Batman's daughter. She wore black. Everybody in the Matrix wore black. Equilibrium, that character wore black. Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator. So everybody wore black. So I was like, you know what? Bane's going to be white outfit. And if I could just show you, you'd be amazed. But go to the website, check it out. BaneLegacyApocalypse.weebly.com.
That's all I have to remember. We're going to put it up so they can actually...
Okay, awesome.
Well, I thank you for coming.
I had a ball. I love you guys. You guys are awesome.
We're going to put this out there for the universe to see you, make you more famous. And I want to thank you again. Thank you guys for watching Rick's Corner. Make sure you follow Chyna and see what he's doing with his life, because he's a very interesting guy. And he's not going without a shirt for some reason, because he's extremely muscular and he didn't want to show it off, but I wanted you guys to see it. So we'll find a picture to put up somewhere.
Yeah, and Rick gave me a Gold's Gym tank top with his name signed on it, so that is so cool. So
he found it on my table and said, "Whose is this?" I said, "It's yours."
With his signature on it, so it's like so cool because Rick designed the character on it. So I'm just like, wow, this is awesome. This is history. So I thank Rick for bringing me out here. I love you guys for letting me be here. Go to Facebook, look up Chyna McCoy, or just look up Bay Legacy Apocalypse, and you'll see it on Facebook.
That sounds good to me. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time.
It's RickDrasin.com. He is the equalizer.